Queen Elizabeth II had an incredible collection of tiaras, wearing them for special occasions. But when she passed away, those sparkling crowns had to be shared among the royal women in the family. So why did Camilla get so upset when Catherine wore one of the late Queen's tiaras? Could there be more to the story than we know? Let's dive into the fascinating lives of Camilla and Catherine, uncover the history behind the late Queen's tiara, and figure out why seeing it on Catherine left Camilla absolutely fuming. Now, when it comes to tiaras, these aren't just fancy headpieces, they're treasured symbols of royal history. One of the most famous is the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara, a dazzling heirloom that's been passed down for generations. This beauty, along with many other gifts, was a wedding present to Princess Mary of Teck when she married the future King George V on July 6, 1893. The gift was arranged by a committee of young women from Britain and Ireland, led by Lady Eva Greville, a lifelong friend of Mary. They started off with small contributions, eventually raising a whopping $5,000. From that, $1,600 was used to commission a breathtaking diamond, gold, and silver tiara in an intricate festoon and scroll design from the famous royal jeweler, Gerard & Co. Princess Mary was over the moon about her new tiara. In a heartfelt thank you note to Lady Eva, she wrote about how truly grateful she was, saying she could barely find the words to express her appreciation. This piece became one of her most cherished wedding gifts, not just because of its stunning design, but because it was practical. It could be worn as a tiara, a coronet, or even a necklace. The first time she stepped out wearing it was at the Devonshire House Ball in July 1897, 4 years after her wedding. Queen Mary was known for her love of jewelry, constantly redesigning and modifying pieces in her collection. In 1914, she decided to mix things up by asking Gerard to take jewels from 2 of her wedding tiaras to create a brand new one, the Lover's Knot Tiara. To do this, the jeweler removed 13 large diamonds from the County of Surrey tiara and added 20 smaller diamonds to the Girls of Great Britain tiara, replacing its original pearl elements. Those pearls were then used to complete the Lover's Knot tiara, which became an iconic piece. Mary also separated the tiara from its bandeau base, wearing the two as separate pieces for the next 20 years. The Lover's Knot tiara eventually made its way to Princess Catherine. Though Queen Elizabeth II didn't wear it often, it remained one of the most desired tiaras in her collection. The reason? Its diamond-encrusted lover's knot bows gave whoever wore it a timeless, regal, and effortlessly romantic look. But was Catherine's claim to this legendary tiara the real reason behind Queen Camilla's outrage? Or did Kate break some long-standing royal rules about when and how tiaras should be worn? Stick around because we'll get into all the juicy details later in the video. Fast forward to 1947, during Princess Elizabeth's wedding to Prince Philip, and Queen Mary decided to pass down her tiaras and bandeau as a wedding gift. Elizabeth adored these pieces, lovingly calling them Granny's tiaras. One reason she loved the Girls of Great Britain tiara in particular was that it was lighter than most of the other tiaras in her collection, making it more comfortable to wear while still looking strikingly regal. When Queen Mary passed in 1953, she left it to Elizabeth II in her will, ensuring that its royal legacy would continue. Princess Elizabeth treasured this tiara so much that she chose to wear it for her very first official photo session as queen. Just 20 days after she took the throne, while still dressed in mourning black for her father, King George VI, she sat for a portrait session that would define her image for years to come. These photos weren't just for keepsakes. They were used as the official reference for her likeness on new coins, stamps, and banknotes. So, back in the day, you could actually spot Queen Elizabeth proudly wearing this cherished tiara on currency and stamps across the country. Fast forward to 1969, and Queen Elizabeth, much like her grandmother, couldn't resist getting creative with her jewelry collection. She decided to reunite the tiara with its original bandeau, making it an even more impressive and regal piece. It became a favorite of hers for grand state banquets, official portraits, and other major royal events. The last time she was ever seen wearing it in public was at a diplomatic reception she hosted at Buckingham Palace in December 2018, where she welcomed ambassadors from all over the world. When Queen Elizabeth passed away, Queen Camilla inherited the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara, adding it to her own collection. But despite having this iconic piece in her possession, Camilla was reportedly furious when Catherine was spotted wearing the Queen's lover's knot tiara. The big question is, why? Was there a hidden reason behind Camilla's reaction, or was Kate stepping on some royal toes? There's plenty to unpack, but before we dive into the full story, let's take a look at the individual lives of Queen Camilla and Princess Catherine, as well as the complicated history of Charles and Camilla's relationship. Get ready for some royal drama. Camilla Rosemary Shand was born on 17th of July 1947 at King's College Hospital in London. Her parents, Major Bruce Shand and Rosalind Shand, had backgrounds in the British Army before moving into business. Camilla wasn't an only child. She had a younger sister, Annabel Elliott, and a younger brother, Mark Shand. Just a few months after she was born, on 1st November 1947, she was baptized at St. Peter's Church in Firle, East Sussex. At the age of 5, Camilla was sent to Dumbrells, a small co-educational school in Ditchling Village. When she turned 10, she moved on to Queen's Gate School in London, where she was known to her classmates as Mila. Even as a child, people saw her as someone with confidence and charisma. One of her teachers, the writer Penelope Fitzgerald, remembered her as a bright and lively student. Camilla left Queen's Gate in 1964 with 10 O-levels, though her parents didn't let her stay on long enough to take her A-levels. At 16, she headed off to Montfertil Finishing School in Switzerland, polishing up her skills in etiquette and the finer things in life. After completing her studies there, she spent 6 months at the University of London Institute in Paris, studying French and French literature. Meanwhile, her mother Rosalind spent much of her time doing charity work, volunteering with the Cheshire Heritage Foundation, an organization dedicated to supporting children with disabilities. This foundation was based near the Shands' Sussex home, and Camilla was often involved in equestrian activities nearby. She loved riding and attended various equestrian events. Another passion of hers was painting, which led to private tutoring with an artist, though most of her work apparently ended up in the bin. Beyond art, she enjoyed fishing, gardening, and horticulture. When it comes to Charles and Camilla's love story, it's been anything but simple. Their relationship has always been surrounded by controversy, facing resistance from not just the public but also the government and the church. It wasn't exactly a fairy tale romance. There were plenty of obstacles along the way. Camilla reportedly first met Prince Charles in mid-1971, shortly after her previous relationship with Andrew Parker Bowles had ended. Interestingly, at the time, Andrew was actually seeing Princess Anne, Charles's sister. Although Camilla and Charles ran in the same social circles and often attended the same events, they had never officially met until that moment. Little did they know, their relationship would become one of the most talked about royal love stories of all time. There's a popular belief that Charles and Camilla first met at a polo match, but that's not actually true. Their first encounter happened at the home of their mutual friend, Lucia Santa Cruz, who introduced them to each other. From there, they hit it off, becoming close friends before things turned romantic. Their relationship wasn't exactly a secret. It was well known within their social circle. They often spent time together at polo matches at Smith's Lawn in Windsor Great Park, where Charles played regularly. They were also part of the lively social scene at Annabel's, an exclusive nightclub in Berkeley Square. As things between them grew more serious, Charles met Camilla's family and even introduced her to some of his own relatives. But just when things seemed to be progressing, everything came to a halt. In early 1973, Charles had to leave for an overseas posting with the Royal Navy, and the relationship ended rather abruptly. The real reason behind their breakup has been debated for years, with multiple theories floating around. Some say that Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother, wasn't keen on Camilla, as she had a different vision for Charles's future wife, someone more suitable for royal life. It's been said that she had her eye on a young woman from the Spencer family, one of the granddaughters of her close friend, Lady Fermoy. Others argue that it wasn't Charles who ended things, but Camilla. She reportedly had an on-and-off relationship with Andrew Parker Bowles since the late 1960s and ultimately chose to be with him. Another theory is that Charles had made a firm decision not to get married until he was 30, meaning a serious commitment wasn't in the cards at that time. Regardless of what really happened, most royal biographers agree on one thing. Charles wouldn't have been allowed to marry Camilla even if he had wanted to. By 1979, whispers began circulating that the two had reconnected. However, soon after, Charles began dating Lady Diana Spencer, and the rest, as they say, is history. He married Diana in 1981, and for a while it seemed like that chapter of his life with Camilla was closed. But in 1992, everything changed when news of their extramarital affair exploded in the press, sending shockwaves through the monarchy. A decade later, in 1994, Charles finally addressed the rumors head-on in an interview for Charles, the Private Man, the public role with journalist Jonathan Dimbleby. He admitted that his relationship with Camilla had resumed in 1986, but only after his marriage to Diana had irretrievably broken down. He described Camilla as a dear friend, saying, "Mrs. Parker Bowles is a great friend of mine, a friend for a very long time. She will continue to be a friend for a very long time." After both Charles and Camilla divorced their respective spouses, Charles made it clear that his relationship with Camilla was non-negotiable. He knew their love story wasn't exactly popular with the public, but he wasn't going to back down. In an effort to improve their public image, he enlisted the help of Mark Bolland, a PR expert, to revamp his reputation and make Camilla more acceptable in the eyes of the public. While many people were still skeptical about Camilla, there were others who admired her resilience. She endured a relentless wave of public scrutiny, but remained composed through it all. In 2000, she took a significant step forward, accompanying Charles to Scotland for a series of official engagements. The following year, she took on the role of president for the Royal Osteoporosis Society, ROS, which helped her gain more visibility with the public. The real turning point came when Camilla finally met Queen Elizabeth II in an official capacity. Their first encounter since her relationship with Charles became public knowledge. The meeting was seen as a subtle but significant sign that the Queen was coming around to accepting Camilla's role in her son's life. This was surprising, considering that the Queen had previously disapproved of their relationship. So what changed her mind? In the past, the royal family had strict rules against divorce and remarriage, believing marriage was a sacred institution. But times were changing, and so was the monarchy. Over the years, attitudes toward divorce softened, and eventually, the Queen's stance on Charles and Camilla's relationship shifted. It was a long road, but in the end, the love story that was once deemed impossible became one of the most unexpected royal romances of all time. Over time, Queen Elizabeth gradually warmed up to Charles and Camilla's relationship. After several joint appearances at public and private events, she took a significant step by inviting Camilla to her Golden Jubilee celebrations in 2002. This was a major moment, as Camilla's presence at such a prestigious royal event signaled that the Queen was moving toward acceptance. However, the idea of Charles, the future Supreme Governor of the Church of England, marrying a divorcee was still a controversial topic. It required not just the Queen's blessing but also approval from the government and the Church of England. Once all the necessary consent was secured, the couple officially announced their engagement, and the response was overwhelmingly positive. In the 2 months that followed, Clarence House received a staggering 25,000 letters, with an estimated 95% to 99% expressing support. There were, of course, a few dissenting voices. 98 letters of hate mail made their way in, some of which were so aggressive that they were handed over to the police for investigation. On April 9, 2005, Charles and Camilla finally tied the knot. Their wedding, however, was a bit unconventional by royal standards. Neither of their parents attended the ceremony. Instead, Camilla's son, Tom Parker Bowles, and Charles's son, Prince William, served as witnesses. While the Queen and the Duke of Edinburgh skipped the civil ceremony itself, they did attend the service of blessing that followed. Afterward, the Queen hosted a reception for the newlyweds at Windsor Castle. The wedding was historic for another reason. Charles became the only member of the royal family to have a civil marriage rather than a church wedding in England. Interestingly, British government documents from the 1950s and 1960s, later published by the BBC, suggested that such a marriage would have been illegal under previous laws. However, Charles's team quickly shut down any controversy, explaining that the Registration Service Act of 1953 had repealed those old restrictions, making the marriage perfectly valid. Fast forward to September 8, 2022. After the passing of Queen Elizabeth II, Charles ascended to the throne. In his first speech as king, he honored his late mother and officially bestowed the title of Prince of Wales upon his eldest son, William. The following year, on May 6, 2023, Charles and Camilla were crowned in a grand coronation ceremony at Westminster Abbey. The traditional Church of England service included everything from the coronation oath to the sacred anointing and the symbolic delivery of the orb before Charles was enthroned. Before the grand coronation, Charles and Camilla attended a national service of thanksgiving in July at St. Giles's Cathedral in Scotland, where he was presented with the honors of Scotland. This event also marked the moment Camilla officially became Queen Consort. However, her new title sparked mixed reactions from the British public. Many citizens still held strong opinions about her past and the complicated history surrounding her relationship with Charles before their marriage. Meanwhile, on the other side of the royal love story is Princess Catherine, formerly known as Kate Middleton. She is the wife of Prince William, the firstborn son of King Charles III. The couple's love story began in 2001 when they met while studying at the University of St. Andrews. Both were living at St. Salvator's Hall, but Kate truly caught William's eye the following year during a charity fashion show. Wearing a daring see-through lace dress on the runway, she unintentionally turned the prince's head, and from then on, things started to shift between them. By 2003, Kate and William were officially dating. During their second year at university, they shared a flat with two other friends, enjoying a relatively normal student life, despite William's royal status. However, like any young couple, they hit a rough patch. In 2004, they briefly split but soon found their way back to each other. After graduation, Kate became a prime target for the tabloid press, which fixated on her relationship with the future king. Few people knew that, in November 2006, she quietly took on a part-time job as an accessories buyer for the fashion brand Jigsaw. Alongside this, she worked as a project manager for her family's business, handling the website and catalog. Despite the increasing media frenzy, she remained poised, continuing to support William in his journey. One of the first major signs that Kate was stepping into a more public royal role came in December 2006. She attended William's passing out parade at the Royal Military Academy Sandhurst, a proud moment that showed she was becoming an integral part of his world. From Camilla's long, controversial path to royal acceptance to Kate's rise as a future queen, the royal family's modern history has been anything but predictable. Whether through scandal, romance, or unwavering resilience, these women have shaped the future of the monarchy in ways few could have imagined. By April 2007, Kate and William's relationship had come to an end, or so it seemed. However, reports soon surfaced that the couple had reconciled, turning their romance into an on-again, off-again journey. Their bond continued to strengthen, and in May 2008, Middleton attended the wedding of William's cousin, Peter Phillips, to Autumn Kelly. She went to William's place and, for the first time, met Queen Elizabeth II, a significant milestone in her royal journey. By October 2010, it was clear that their love story was headed towards something more permanent. While on a 10-day trip to the Liwa Wildlife Conservancy in Kenya, William proposed at a secluded alpine cabin on Mount Kenya. It was an incredibly personal and romantic moment, marking the beginning of a new chapter for the couple. The engagement was officially announced by Clarence House on November 16th of that year. William presented Kate with an iconic sapphire and diamond engagement ring, the very same one that once belonged to his late mother, Diana, Princess of Wales. Their wedding took place on April 29, 2011, at Westminster Abbey, coinciding with St. Catherine's Day. The occasion was declared a national bank holiday in the UK, allowing people across the country to celebrate. The event was a global spectacle, with an estimated 300 million viewers tuning in worldwide, while around 26 million people watched it live in Britain alone. Following their marriage, William and Kate initially settled in Nottingham Cottage, a cozy residence on the grounds of Kensington Palace. By 2017, they made the palace their main London home, creating a stable environment for their growing family. Then, in September 2022, they relocated to Adelaide Cottage in Windsor, offering a quieter and more private setting for their children. Together, the couple has 3 children, Prince George, born in July 2013, Princess Charlotte, born in May 2015, and Prince Louis, born in April 2018. At the time of their births, they were respectively third, fourth, and fifth in the line of succession to the British throne. However, following the passing of Queen Elizabeth II in 2022, their positions shifted, with George now second, Charlotte third, and Louis fourth in line. One thing that has long defined the modern royal family is their dedication to charity. Whether it's launching their own initiatives or lending their influence to existing causes, members of the monarchy often use their platform to make a difference. Princess Diana became an icon for her humanitarian efforts, and in many ways, Princess Catherine has followed in her footsteps. Even before her marriage, Kate was deeply involved in philanthropy. In 2007, she curated a photography exhibition to mark the launch of Time to Reflect by Alastair Morrison, raising funds for UNICEF. The following year, she organized a lively 1980s-themed roller disco fundraiser, bringing in $100,000, which was split between the Oxford Children's Hospital and the mental health charity Place 2BE. During her time working for her family's business, she also dedicated efforts to the Starlight Children's Foundation, an organization that supports terminally ill youth. Additionally, she played a key role in coordinating the Boodles Boxing Ball, a charity event that raised money for various causes. Once she became a member of the royal family, her charitable impact only expanded. In March 2011, William and Kate established a wedding gift fund through the foundation of Prince William and Prince Harry, allowing well-wishers to donate to charities rather than send traditional wedding presents. The initiative supported 26 organizations, covering causes such as the armed forces, children's welfare, elderly care, the arts, sports, and conservation. A year later, in June 2012, the foundation was renamed to reflect Kate's growing involvement. Now known as the Royal Foundation of the Prince and Princess of Wales, it serves as the primary charitable vehicle for the couple's philanthropic work. Kate's advocacy focuses on early childhood development, mental health awareness, sports, addiction recovery, and the arts. Her influence on charitable giving and the visibility of social causes has been dubbed the Kate Effect, a testament to the way her patronages and initiatives drive significant public engagement. As a key figure in the modern royal family, Kate continues to carve out her legacy, championing causes that create lasting change while balancing her role as a future queen. From her early days as a university student to becoming a global icon, her journey reflects a modern take on royal duty, blending tradition with heartfelt commitment. As an art history graduate, Catherine has a deep appreciation for the arts and has supported initiatives that help disadvantaged children access creative therapy. She personally selected the art room as one of her patronages before its closure and has remained closely involved with the National Portrait Gallery. Along with her love for the arts, she has also taken on several significant patronages, including the Lawn Tennis Association, the All England Lawn Tennis and Croquet Club, Action for Children, and the Royal Photographic Society, many of which were passed down to her from Queen Elizabeth II. Now, one intriguing royal debate has centered around a certain tiara, specifically the famous lover's knot tiara. Why did this particular piece spark so much tension? And who ended up inheriting the majority of the late Queen's stunning jewelry collection? Camilla or Catherine? If you've ever wondered why royal women only wear tiaras on select occasions, keep reading because we're diving into the rules, the drama, and the moment Queen Camilla was reportedly furious over Catherine wearing the coveted headpiece. Queen Camilla made her first appearance wearing the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara, a cherished piece inherited from the late Queen Elizabeth, at a state banquet in Buckingham Palace on November 22, 2022. This was a significant moment for Camilla, as it symbolized her role in continuing Queen Elizabeth's legacy while honoring her through one of her most treasured pieces of jewelry. However, Camilla wasn't the only one making a statement that evening. Catherine, Princess of Wales, arrived at the same event wearing the Lover's Knot tiara, another iconic piece closely associated with Queen Elizabeth and, more notably, Princess Diana. Critics quickly weighed in on the situation, with some making bold statements about Camilla's choice of tiara. One harsh remark suggested that no matter which tiara Camilla wore, she would never possess the same dignity, gravitas, or worthiness as her predecessor. But beyond the public criticism, what really fueled speculation was the complicated history behind the lover's knot tiara. Originally belonging to Queen Mary, the tiara was later gifted by Queen Elizabeth II to Princess Diana as a wedding present when she married Charles. After Diana's passing, it was eventually passed down to Catherine, making it a deeply personal and symbolic piece. Given the long-standing history between Diana, Charles, and Camilla, some believe that Camilla has always desired possession of anything once linked to Diana. First, she won Charles's heart, and now speculation suggests she would have liked to claim the lover's knot tiara as well. Many royal watchers argued that Camilla, as queen consort, should not have worn any of Queen Elizabeth's signature tiaras, believing it was disrespectful to the royal lineage. Instead, they felt that Catherine, as the Princess of Wales and the future queen, was the rightful successor to such iconic heirlooms. The controversy over Catherine wearing the lover's knot tiara that evening only fueled these discussions further, leaving many to wonder if Camilla was indeed displeased by the moment. When it came to dividing Queen Elizabeth's vast jewelry collection, there was a clear hierarchy in place. Royal expert Katie Nicholl explained in an interview with Marie Claire that Queen Camilla was given first choice when selecting from the late Queen's jewels, as is customary for a queen consort. After her selections, the next in line was Catherine, the Princess of Wales, followed by other senior members of the family. Although reports suggest that Kate received a significant portion of Queen Elizabeth's jewelry, the exact details of the distribution remain private. As for Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, Nicholl noted that while she would likely receive some pieces at some point, she was much lower in the royal pecking order when it came to inheriting heirlooms. Beyond the personal preferences of the royal women, there are strict traditions that govern when tiaras can be worn. Unlike other jewelry, tiaras are reserved for special occasions, such as formal state banquets, diplomatic receptions, and most notably, weddings. Traditionally, royal women do not wear tiaras until they are married, symbolizing a transition into their new role. The rules surrounding these elegant headpieces may be complex, but they add to the grandeur and mystique of the monarchy. With a jewelry collection as vast and historically rich as Queen Elizabeth's, debates over who should wear which pieces are bound to continue. Whether or not Camilla was truly upset over Catherine's choice of tiara remains a topic of speculation, but one thing is certain. Each tiara carries more than just diamonds and pearls. It holds decades of royal history, tradition, and in some cases, controversy. One of the strictest royal traditions concerns when and how tiaras can be worn. A key rule states that royal women cannot simply pick a tiara at will. Each piece is specifically loaned to them by the monarch, or they are given a limited selection to choose from. This was the case for both Queen Camilla and Princess Catherine, and it's where the drama surrounding the lover's knot tiara began. There's speculation that during the selection process, Camilla may have had her eye on the lover's knot tiara, but it ultimately went to Catherine. Camilla, of course, inherited the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara, a prized piece from Queen Elizabeth's collection. But was that enough? Rumors suggest she may have been frustrated that she wasn't given the opportunity to claim both tiaras, and seeing Catherine wear the lover's knot might have added fuel to the fire. The deeper issue might stem from Camilla's belief that, as queen consort, she should have inherited the majority of Queen Elizabeth's jewelry, including the lover's knot tiara. After all, she now holds the highest-ranking female role in the monarchy. But the reality was different. Reports indicate that Catherine received a significant portion of the late Queen's jewelry collection, something that could have further frustrated Camilla. Many royal watchers even went as far as to call Camilla's desire to own the lover's knot tiara covetous, arguing that she had already taken Charles and should leave Diana's legacy, including the tiara, alone. Now, another reason Camilla may have been irritated is tied to an important tiara tradition. Once a tiara is loaned to a royal, it is typically theirs to wear for life. This means that once Catherine was given the lover's knot tiara, Camilla would never be able to wear it. You know that feeling when you want something but it's permanently out of reach? That's exactly how some believe Camilla felt. No matter how much she may have wanted the tiara, it belonged to Catherine for life. While the lover's knot drama has been the talk of royal watchers, there are still plenty of other fascinating rules surrounding tiaras. One strict tradition dictates that tiaras should not be worn before 5 p.m. unless for a wedding. This rule is meant to maintain the prestige of the royal crown, ensuring it remains a symbol of formality and tradition. It's rare to see a royal wearing a tiara casually, but when they do, it's for a major event like a state banquet, a coronation, or a royal ball. Another lesser-known rule is that royal women are generally not allowed to wear a tiara until they are married. This is why, for most, their first time wearing one is on their wedding day. Both Catherine and Meghan Markle followed this tradition, debuting their tiaras when they walked down the aisle. However, an exception exists. If a royal is gifted a tiara on their 18th birthday, they may start wearing it for formal occasions. When you do spot a tiara on a royal, there's a good chance it's been carefully secured. These dazzling headpieces aren't exactly light or easy to wear. This is why royals have a special trick. They often braid a piece of hair across the top of their head and sew the tiara into place to keep it from slipping. Queen Elizabeth particularly loved the girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara because of how lightweight it was, making it much easier to wear for long periods. Another rule focuses on the way tiaras should be worn. Unlike in the 1920s, when they were positioned right at the front of the head or even on the forehead, modern royals place them slightly farther back. This small adjustment gives a more elegant and sophisticated look, in line with today's fashion trends. And here's a rule that might surprise you. Royal tiaras cannot leave the country without King Charles's explicit permission. He may only approve their travel for major events, such as foreign royal weddings or high-level diplomatic visits. One such occasion was when Catherine wore the lover's knot tiara at the royal wedding of Crown Prince Hussein and Princess Rajwa of Jordan in Amman. With all these traditions and the history behind each tiara, it's easy to see why they hold such significance in royal circles. But does Camilla truly have a reason to be upset over Catherine wearing the lover's knot tiara? Is it an act of selfishness, or does she believe she rightfully deserves it? No matter which side of the debate you're on, one thing is certain. The world of royal jewels is just as full of drama as the monarchy itself.